I will refer to the question economic development and politics, and much less the legal problem you discussed here. Additionally, I will concentrate between the relation between the United States and Europe after the Second World War, which explains that there has come the neoliberalism by way of the deficiency of the Keynesian economic policy. If we look back to the 40s, Europe has very big debts following the Second World War, and the European economic development was marked by the trade surplus of the United States until 1960. So the trade surplus of the United States was followed by a trade inversion from 1960 to 71, which means that the dollar, the currency of the American dollar, was strongly competed down at the beginning of the 70s. At the same time, 1971, the exchange, according to the gold standard, was not anymore accepted by the United States. And for this reason, the currency was weakened to about half of the former parities of 4 to about 2 within a few years. Then, 73, the oil crisis worsened the situation in Europe and all over the world. And this was aggravated by the Keynesian policy starting from 65 in the euro. And this demand policy was accompanied by the idea, this was mainly the social democrats in the European Union, that the state could govern the private sector. Though there is a big intention to have some road into serfdom. And Hayek, who pronounced it already in the 1944, was well accepted by the public. So everybody was scared about socialism. And this socialism was in fact existing in the Eastern European countries. So this, you mentioned it, this competition between the two systems was one reason that the majority of the voters in Europe turned away from social democrats, and there was a lack of political concept. In this area, Reaganomics gained of importance in the United States and Thatcherism in Great Britain. So state expenses for social affairs were strongly cut down, and the role of the state was diminished compared to the idea of the 60s, where social democrats were in power in many European countries. The turn to neoliberalism was in fact pushed by the fear of socialism and by the growing state debts. And at the same time, in the United States, the financialization, it means the free financial markets gained of importance, so that we had globally neoliberalism and at the same time free financial markets, and this was the beginning of the global financialization enhanced by the upstream saving from oil-producing countries and the nearly unlimited creation of money by the banks in Europe, like in the United States. And so this financialization was the reason that the costs of production increased by wealth inflation of the productive system, and this was the beginning of the stagnation. Moreover, in Europe, the introduction 2001 of the euro as a currency was a further burden on the European real economy, so that we have financialization, wealth inflation, at the same time stagnative real economic development, and a strongly weakening of the state. The state is, at least in Europe, limited by the prescription of the European Union, and so we are in a stagnation since the beginning of the 2000 years. And 2008, as everybody knows, there was the big financial crisis, which was just the culmination of the weak state, the strong financial sector, and the rather weak real economic development. For this reason, we have in Europe very big political problems induced by these economic difficulties. A few of the indicators are the debts in the southern European countries. Greece now more than 180% of GDP, in Italy 160%, and another sign which is really embarrassing is in some countries of southern Europe we have 50% of the young people not employed. So you see, from this economic development, political maneuver doesn't exist anymore, and we have this stagnative tendency, and nobody knows in how far we can escape from this cage which was produced by economic development. Thank you.